Security guarantees as part of any peace deal. Patrick Revel with more on what this means for the war and the region. Patrick, hi. Confusion and concerns have deepened today about what came out of that summit in Alaska. We've been learning more about what Vladimir Putin apparently demanded. President Trump debriefed President Zelensky and European leaders overnight, and two sources familiar with that call told that Trump said Putin had demanded Ukraine hand over all of its eastern Donetsk region in exchange for Russia halting its offensive in the southeastern Kherson and Zaporizhia regions. And that will have caused deep concern in Ukraine and European capitals. It's a demand that is already known to be basically impossible for Ukraine to accept. Not only are most Ukrainians opposed to handing over unoccupied territory that's home to thousands of people, it also contains a belt of key defensive cities. It would make it far easier for Putin to reinvade. And Ukraine would really have to be offered extraordinary security guarantees to even consider handing over that territory. Now, President Trump has suggested that security guarantees will be discussed when President Zelensky, comes to Washington on Monday. But Putin already knows that his demand is almost certainly unacceptable. It appears that President Trump, though, believes it might be reasonable. He's also now accepted that Putin's position, that no ceasefire can happen before a final peace agreement, is also the way to go. I think this appears to be what was feared going into the summit, that Putin would put forward hardline positions while making no concessions and being welcomed by a U.S. president. He's managed to avoid having more sanctions put on Russia, and he also has not had to agree to a ceasefire. So a huge amount now will depend on President Zelensky's meeting in Washington on Monday. But it's hard to see how peace can come from this, and there is now a lot of worry in Ukraine and Europe. Ike. All right, Patrick Revel, thank you.